IGN has hated Black Myth Wukong and game science for years at this point, and last November, when they put out their mistranslated hit piece on this company, it didn't really sit well with gamers, and every time IGN talks about this title and these devs, we scrutinize what they're doing, and of course, it appears that they are now manipulating user votes for Game of the Year to erase its substantial lead. This is a post by Mark Kern, aka Grum, saying, "Yo, IGN, are you cheating? IGN is manipulating user votes for Game of the Year to erase Black Myth Wukong's substantial lead." So yes, they put out a couple of posts on Game of the Year so far, talking about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is still IGN community's top game of 2024, with Shadow of the Erdtree, Helldivers 2, Astrobot. All really great games, in my opinion, though this would not be my Game of the Year list. Right now, my top 4 are Shadow of the Erdtree. If we're counting DLC, I typically don't, but if we are, I mean, that's definitely going to win. Black Myth Wukong, Stellar Blade, all fantastic experiences, but people are calling them out on their BS, saying, "God, you guys don't even try to hide your bias. Where is Wukong? You already know if this isn't Game of the Year, then it's rigged." Saying things like, "Woke game journos ignoring Stellar Blade and Wukong color me shocked." Yeah, 2 games that they put out continuous hit pieces on, and yet they're putting a DLC on this list. And I think Shadow of the Erdtree is amazing. It's so fantastic, but when did we start counting DLC in the Game of the Year running? Like, we never really have before. Why are we starting now? It's clearly simply because they want to, erase Stellar Blade and Wukong's existence. But as you can see, for the community votes, Wukong had dropped from 90% to 74% in the span of an hour, and it was also done at 5 a.m. So we're not talking about it being like a prime time on a Saturday, the percentage dropping. We're talking about a very substantial drop in a very short amount of time. That is very suspicious. And looking at this, Final Fantasy was in the number 2 spot and it didn't gain much at all. Same with Helldivers. So it's not like there was an abundance of people going and trying to vote. And this has actually led to gamers revolting. Now, of course, we should not trust gaming journos. They're activists, they're hacks. They do not care about the industry or video games that are simply good. They do only care about pushing narratives and agendas, and they only want to promote the games that they love and that, of course, promote their opinions. And now the Black Myth Wukong subreddit is blowing up from people talking about how they believe IGN is rigging the vote for their community Game of the Year poll, talking about how IGN's disgusting vote buying behavior. IGN, once again, I proved it to you, Black Myth. IGN Game of the Year 2024 community vote mega thread, and in comments sections on X, there are tons of people talking about how disappointed they are that these amazing games, even titles like The First Descendant, are being overshadowed. This is why I personally really don't care about Game of the Year events from the mainstream industry, because they never agree with gamers. Looking at, Jeff Keighley's Game of the Year awards, it's 90% panel votes, right? The panel of industry veterans and outlets and companies that are voting, they account for 90%. Gamers are only 10%, which is absolutely insane, in my opinion. Our votes do not matter to them, and that's why even if Black Myth Wukong does not win this IGN Game of the Year poll, it really doesn't matter to me, because I know that it deserves more. I know it deserves praise. And looking at the events from last year, right, they all completely looked over Hogwarts Legacy and ignored Hogwarts Legacy. I expected the same thing to happen this year with Wukong Wukong and Stellar Blade. Who knows what else is going to release throughout the last few months of the year that's probably going to go ignored by these absolute hacks. But right now it appears that IGN is manipulating user votes for Game of the Year to erase Black Myth Wukong's once substantial lead, which isn't shocking given they were the one who, really pushed the hate campaign against Wukong, especially after last year's hit pieces on this title. So I'll be keeping my eye on this, but for now, that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, give it a like, and if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.